Hi there, I'm Kate. I'd like to go through with you now a few of the exercises that I recommend for preparing horses for having things around their legs. This can be for general handling purposes, for those occasions where maybe a rope or a rein gets tied up around the leg, maybe the horse gets a foot caught in a fence, or for having things around the legs, for example, when you're teaching them to drive or to long line or even for double lunging. I'm doing these exercises today with Belladora. She is a Lusitano Barb mix. She's done a lot of this type of work before, so she's very used to the formula, the format and the way these things go. So she's probably not going to give me any very strong reactions. When you do this with a horse for the first time, quite often there are stronger reactions than Belladora is going to give today. But the exercises are the same. If you come up against a point where there is a stronger reaction than you're expecting, that's okay. The horse is just telling you that it's not quite happy with this yet. So take a few steps back to the last point at which the horse was happy with it, and then build the exercise up more slowly. And you'll gradually find that they will begin to accept it. Take breaks for everything they do that is going in the right direction. So if they were having a problem with one particular thing and you suddenly find you can do it, give them a break at that point. Don't carry on to the next thing. So you're always rewarding the right behavior and being very aware of the behavior that you want and encouraging that, even if it's just a very small thing. Okay, so let's get going. Now the first thing I'm going to do is send the rope underneath her chin. And the reason for this is that the horse interprets information differently on the left and the right side. The two hemispheres of the brain work more independently of each other than they do with people. Information crosses over, but it's very differently interpreted on the two sides. And very often when a horse is spooky about something on its sides, it's because it hasn't coordinated this properly across the division between the eyes. So working backwards, we start under the chin, then over the face, a bit like another horse swishing flies, and work back along the body. You quite often get a response on the right hind. So just be aware of that and be prepared to work on that. She's actually done very well on that, that's fine. So now I'm just going to turn her round. And here she comes on the other side. It's a good idea to have the horse moving around you rather than you moving around the horse. That's not just for the camera. It is actually a good principle. And I'm just straightening her up a little bit there. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So always do everything from both sides. With most horses, start on the left unless they tell you they'd prefer you on the right. Now there we go, under the chin, over the face, a bit like fly swishing, over the neck. And she's fine with all of that, so I'll give her a little break and a stroke there for accepting it all. Down over the girth area, yes, very good, pet her for that. And over onto the left hip, and she was fine with all of that. You can see her ears are just moving, she's just clocking what I'm doing, but she's pretty relaxed. It's warm and there are flies there now. She's now chewing, so she's quite relaxed with the whole process. So I just take a break there and give her a little scratch. As I say, there's a few flies around because it's a nice warm day here. And we'll turn round to the other side again. And now I'm going to move on to her yielding to a pressure on the rope. So it goes over the back. I've already checked that's okay, and going along her back, so that's okay. It's important to do things in this order. Don't mess around with the order because you're actually preparing, each phase is preparing for the next one. So we pick this up a little bit like the girth and make sure she's okay with it along her tummy. Some horses, particularly mares, are sometimes a little bit squiffy about it going up near the hind legs. Okay, now I'm going to ask her for a step to the side. And I want the front legs to move. She moved, it was a little bit to the side. It could be a little bit more to the side, so I'll just ask again. And we'll see, that one's a little bit better. It's not perfect, it could be a little bit more sideways, but for today it's fine. You can build that up until they're really taking quite a big step to the side. Now I'm moving on to the next stage, which is putting the rope around the legs. So this is introducing the rope to the individual legs. And you start quite high up. Start just by swinging the rope around the legs and just letting it touch everywhere, front and back. Make sure you stay to the side yourself, don't get into the kick zone, because sometimes horses can get distressed by this. As you can see, Bellador is absolutely fine with it, but she should be, she's done a lot of this. So now I'd just like her to pick that leg up. Now she moved it to the side, she didn't actually need to, all I really wanted was a lift, but that's okay. I'll still pet her for that, she still lifted it. And we'll go again for a lift with the rope a little bit lower down. And now you can see she's just getting a little tiny bit stressed by that. So I'm just going to do that again until she can just hold it. And you saw there she just started to hold it, it was just hanging in my hand. It doesn't have to be there for very long, I just need to feel that she's relaxing. So we'll just try that once more. No, she's not quite there yet. No, she's still a little bit unsettled with that, so I'll ask again. And there you see she starts to relax. So you don't need to make a big deal out of these things. If you find a point they're not happy with, just hang on in there, keep calm, and they'll find it. And now we're getting the same reaction a little bit with the rope lower down. She's not quite okay with that. Yeah, she's resisting, and now she's lifting. So I'll give her a nice pet for that and stroke all over the leg. So you're making the actual part of the horse that's responded correctly as comfortable as you can. Now I'm going to ask her to lift and step. Let's just get her straightened up to start with. It's good to have them fairly square to start. It doesn't need to be completely square, but fairly square. Because you're looking to start with for the moment when they move the weight to the other side. So you'll see that when I ask for the next step. There her weight rocks back, and I just give her a half a second break in the pressure at that point, just to reinforce the fact that that was the right thing to do to move her weight. Here we go again, she's working it out. There goes the weight onto the other side, and now she picks the foot up. But she's not too sure for a second about giving it to me and taking the step, but then she takes it. Now moving on to the back legs. Again, stroke all over the place. You don't need to move the back legs to the sides or to the front, that's okay. You just want to make sure that they're okay with the rope around them. And you can see she's not really upset by it, but she's just clocking that it's there. But the lift is actually very good. That's absolutely fine. So we'll give her a little break there. And turn around to do the other side. Now I'm just going to prepare the leg there again a little bit by stroking it first. And again we're going to do the step to the side. Whole horse takes the step to the side. No, she was anticipating there, so yeah, she had the right idea, but wrong timing. No, wait for the cue. And there she goes. And on this side, that's a really nice sideways step. That's the perfect one. I'm just going to line her up again so that we're in the right position for the camera. Normally, I'd just leave her to stand wherever she is, but obviously I want it so that you can see it. So now we'll have a go at the front leg again. Once again, go round it with the rope first of all, and then we're going to take the rope around the leg. I'm just rubbing it with the rope. If they're a bit unsure about the rope, you can just rub them like this with the rope so they get the feeling of the texture of the rope before you actually put it around the leg. So we've got it around the leg, so just about above the knee is a good place to start. Again, I just really want her to lift. There goes the weight, and there goes the lift. And a little bit lower down. Now she's leaning into that, so she needs to work out that she needs to go the other way. Just help her a little bit there. And there it is. That's a good one. That's just a plain lift. That's what we need. And down at the bottom there, that's just great. And there we go for the step forwards. She's not quite sure what I want. And the step to the side coming up there. No, she's not quite happy with that. So just hang on in there. They'll find it. There we go. And you want them to arrange the other legs after they've taken the step, that they actually move into that new position and rebalance themselves. If they leave the legs sticking out, they haven't quite accepted your placement of it. So just wait. It might take a little while, but wait for them to find it. And here again, she's got a little bit stuck, but I'll just wait for her. And she will work out in a second that what she needs to do is to move forward into that step. There we go. And all the other legs come along too. That's great. Good. Now moving on to an exercise we call switching eyes. So you put the rope over the head and hold the rope at the head end so that you're going to have the horse in a kind of a loop. Again, very important to do the other preparation exercises first. Don't go straight into this because some horses can panic if you do. Step away, and now she needs to work out that she needs to give to the pressure on the other side of the body. She turns round and she comes back to face me. That's a good girl. She shouldn't run into my space at that point. She should still respect my space, but come back and focus on me. Now, the reason it's called switching eyes is I'm now on the right side, so we've got her. I'm in the right eye, and she's okay with the rope along her side. Very important if you're preparing horses, particularly for something like driving, where they might have things along their sides. And she's not quite sure what I'm doing, but she's not too concerned about it. Just wait for a second until she's relaxed there. There we go. Now it's better. Let go of the front, step back, so you're not going to be in the kick zone as I come round. So I was in the right eye, now I'm in the left eye, and she turns on round, and then I come back into both eyes again. Now she stepped just a little bit into my space, so I'll just shake her back slightly there and then pet her when she's back out of my space. That was very good. If you've got a very big horse, you can also pass the rope under the neck and pick it up on the other side if you can't get the rope over the top, but it's good to have them trained. It also helps for bridling if you put it over the top. So those are just a few exercises that might help horses get used to the idea of things along their sides and around their legs. I hope that's been of help. Thank you for watching.